Join me as I take on the challenge of exploring whether Earth could actually exist without any land at all. Imagine a world where the moment you step outside, you're immediately surrounded by water. No parks, no buildings, no roads, just endless blue in every direction. It sounds like a scene from a sci-fi movie, but today, we're going to dive into what it would really take for Earth to be a planet completely covered in water. What makes this scenario worth imagining? For one, it forces us to think about just how adaptable life on Earth really is. We've got vast deserts, towering mountains, and deep oceans, and life thrives in almost every environment. But what if we took away the one thing that's often considered a prerequisite for life? Land. Our planet's history has seen massive shifts in its landscape, with continents moving and oceans forming over millions of years. But in this hypothetical scenario, we're going to take that idea to its extreme. No continents, no islands, just a world where water is the only habitat. This thought experiment also lets us explore some pretty fundamental questions about human survival and technology. Could we really live in a world with no land? What would we do for food, for energy, for shelter? In a world without land, survival would be the first major challenge. No beaches to anchor to, no estuaries for freshwater, no soil for growing food. Everything we need to survive would have to come from the water itself. Resource management would become a critical issue. How would we harvest energy? Perhaps tidal or wave power could become the norm. Food would be almost exclusively seafood, which could lead to overfishing and the collapse of marine ecosystems. Habitat loss is another huge concern. Where would we live? We'd have to develop floating cities or underwater habitats, which would require massive technological advancements. But it's not all doom and gloom. A water-only world could also have its own unique beauty and possibilities. Imagine exploring an alien-like landscape of underwater mountains and valleys. The lack of land could lead to a completely different kind of urban planning. Cities might develop around underwater volcanoes or areas with natural upwellings of nutrients. Technology would likely adapt in incredible ways. We might see the development of advanced aquaculture systems to grow food, or new materials for building habitats that can withstand the pressure of the deep. The impact on human civilization would be profound. Our cultures, our economies, and even our social structures might all look very different in a world where water is the only constant. The oceans are already a major source of oxygen and food for us today. In a world without land, we'd be even more dependent on them. Marine life could thrive in some unexpected ways. Without the threat of pollution from land-based activities, the oceans might actually become healthier in some respects. However, there are also risks. The lack of land could disrupt global climate patterns, potentially leading to extreme weather events or changes in ocean currents. The interplay between the oceans and the atmosphere would become even more critical. Weather patterns could be intensified, leading to more extreme storms. Despite these challenges, life could still find a way to thrive. There are real-world examples of organisms that live in extreme conditions, deep sea vents, for instance. These ecosystems can support a rich variety of life, from giant tube worms to bacteria that can survive in boiling water. Such ecosystems might become the norm in a water-only world. Entire food chains could develop around these underwater features. The resilience of life is truly inspiring. Even in a world with no land, it's likely that life would find a way to adapt and flourish. We've explored some of the challenges and possibilities of a world without land. From survival and resource management to the potential for new ecosystems and technologies. The idea of a 100% water Earth might seem like science fiction, but it challenges us to think creatively about our place on the planet. So, what do you think? Could you imagine living in a world with no land? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other video on what the world would be like if the oceans were drained.